so that he would be eligible for the Pulitzer Prize. He called it, of all things in all of that perspiration and heat, stopping by a woods of a snowy evening. Whose woods are these? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He won't see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. No other sound except the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are dark and lovely, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. These poems that I have recited to this point are classical poetry. The next poem is a very modern one, and you will not see the discipline of the meter in it, nor the details that are emphasized in a rhyme scale. It is a little bit more impressionistic, and it's called Oil and Steel. The poet's name is Henri Cole, C-O-L-E. His mother was born in Marseille, and he was born in Japan, or his father was born in Japan, where he was a GI. Presently, he's a professor in the College of English Literature at The Ohio State University, and I got this poem out of the newspaper, Oil and Steel. My father lived in a dirty dish mausoleum, watching a portable black and white television and reading the Encyclopedia Britannica, which he preferred to modern fiction. One by one his schnauzers died, except the one guarding his corpse, found holding a tumbler of Bushmills. Dead is dead, he would say, an anti-preacher. I took a plaid shirt out of his bedroom closet and some motor oil, my inheritance. Once I saw him weep in a courtroom, neglected, needing nursing. This man who never showed me much affection, but gave me a knack for solitude, which has been mostly useful. That is a poem which, with its stark imagery and eloquent presentation, really hits home, even though it does not have the traditional classical rhyme frame or the same kind of a program that classical poets are tied to. Now that we depart from the classical poets and the modernistic poet to go into my own poetry, I have a book that's just recently published, and the name of the book is A Personal Perception. That was chosen by the publisher from one of the poems that were in the book. A Personal Perception. I look beyond the universe over cloudless, boundless skies to see what my mind will find with intellectual eyes. I look beyond the fields of vision of astronomers' piercing eyes. Their perceptions compared with mine are confined to local skies. I look out to where I think the edge of eternity must be, beyond the edge of space and time that's local to my mind and me. The next poem I wrote about 2 months after my dear wife Luella passed away in May of 2006. For the prior 6 months to her death, she was afflicted with ovarian cancer. And she was a real soldier in holding her own until it got her. The poem is called A Look Back at Luella. When my socks were laundered and dried, paired and folded, and I think caressed, I saw a little smile and a bit of pride. Socks don't need to be pressed. She fussed with a brush to tame my hair and scolded me, restless, sitting there. And then would kiss me with such care, my heart leaped up as light as air. In all the times I walked with her, in all the times I talked with her, in all the times I slept with her, she never knew I wept for her. She loved and cooked and cared for me. All she had, she shared with me. We sailed through life on quiet seas till God chose her port so peacefully. Another poem that Luella liked is called Conjugal Ties. I want to live as long as you, see the views and things you do, and do such things for you that you shall know solicitude. I want to go away with you, as far away as you are too, and share with you our mutual vicissitudes. You must know I care for you, that I am always there for you. We'll do the things tied pairs would do and more. We'll share our solitude. We're warp and woof and thread and tie, life's fabric woven as a team. With our love and thread count high, God will know we have no seam. One day I looked into my grandson's eyes, and I got to thinking about them. He had such beautiful hazel eyes, I'm telling you. It gave me an idea. And this poem is called My Grandson's Eyes. I looked into my grandson's eyes and saw a full-grown soul. I know he's only 9 years old, but immortal souls don't grow. They're just as big when we're conceived as on the day we die. It's why mothers to be are relieved to know souls do not add size. Souls, of course, don't stretch or shrink, whether we're short, fat, tall, or thin. It's the body that's large or small, and the soul just spiritually fits in. Imagine the soul as a sunbeam that shone into a room all white, and suppose you were able to capture the part that made it bright. It would be bright if the blinds were closed, or if it was night and all around, and it would continue to be bright through the night and stay in the room when it's found. It would be bright if the ceiling were high or if the room were another size, and the light would fill its dimensions like the soul in my grandson's eyes. The next poem was written while I was in my head while I was doing the dishes one day, and I'm looking down at my hands. And I said, why not? It's called Wash My Soul. One day the thought occurred to me to wash my soul outside my skin. I'd take it out of me entirely and refer to it as Him.